This is Irontrader. It is hump day, which means it is crude day. Now, yesterday the API report came out, and wow, it's kind of a little amazing here. Crude actually had a build of 0.7 million. Gasoline had a build of 1.9 million, and distillates had a draw of 3.5 million. Cushing had a small draw of 1.4 million. Now, remember, the EIA report will be out today at 10:30. We'll see if it confirms. Okay, so we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas, and we'll take a look here at the old NQ here, which is pretty much flat right now. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation of advice on the stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin, your daily and your weekly. Now you can see here how nicely it came down a little bit lower than yesterday's. Okay, we had 105,550, and then we came out here at 105,440 level. Okay, so this actually is holding up very nice. So this pattern is still intact here. So you have your left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder, okay? So if we were to lose this area here, what we're looking for, the big target, would be right down here at 103,633, and that would bend your 50-day simple moving average, okay? But obviously here, we've held this pretty nicely. So this, if you look at the high of this, is 105,740. We're sitting right here against all this here, nice, good support levels going on here. And so far, it is holding it very, very nicely. But again, I say this would have been the target at 103,633, and then we'd have to see exactly what it did once it got there. But obviously it did, and it rallied right back up here nicely. Now, we have ourselves an engulfing candle because we made a lower low, and now we're making a higher high here. So this is actually looking very, very nicely. I'm in the BITX, which is working very good. You can also trade the IBIT. Those are the two ETFs I trade for the long side. The BITX is a 2 times leverage. Now, a couple days ago, I did a midday trading. I did a really nice on all Bitcoin and on these ETFs, and even the BITI, which is the short, if you're interested in that. Okay, now what we're looking for on the upside here, we made this high today at 108,430 level. So what we're looking at is right at 108,580. That's going to be your next level that we're going to be looking for. Then we're going to come up here to the top of this candle here. You're looking at 109,305. And then we'll look here to this big retest here of old sticky at 109,565. Okay. We get above that. Then right here, 110,890. That's still holding very, very nicely. Okay. We get above that. You're looking at 112,060 and then 112,345. We crack that, you're looking at 113, and then I'm thinking you're going to go to that 115. If you just put a price channel on there, you're looking at 115 to 116 level would be next, okay? But let's just see how this all shakes out. But right now, here we're building this right shoulder. So we have a left shoulder, we have your head, and we're building this right shoulder situation. Now, this can play off on a sideways action here for a while, don't get me wrong. But again, this is looking very good because now we have ourselves an engulfing candle, and it just swallowed yesterday's very, very nicely. So on the downside here today, we really need to hold is this 107,111. Okay, that's your 8 simple moving average, which is now crossed over that 21 day, looking very, very nice. And then right below it, we have 106,558 level. Okay, so this right now here is looking very, 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 very good. Let's just see how it all shakes out. Now, we have this RSI here. Yeah, but this is only at 55. This got plenty of room to run here. Your green is still, they're like kissing each other down here. But again, it wants to get that green above that red. This is when we have that, the momentum is there to the upside. See, as soon as you get that big spread going on there here, see, that's the reaction then to it, okay? So, looking very, very good. And now we're back above that 8 and that 21 day and all the simple moving averages. So, looking very, very good. Okay, here we have on the weekly chart here. This is what is the very, very key level by Thursday. Remember, as 4th of July holiday is Friday. There's no market. So you're watching this 106.14. We really need to hold that here by tomorrow. So right now we're looking good, and you can see here we're right into the thick of all this here resistant level here. Now we had that downtrend where we had a high, lower high, lower high. So now we broke this downtrend situation. So now we have to do is just get back above here, and then we can start aiming right for that 112,345 level. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Okay, here we have gold and silver. Actually looking very, very good here, okay? So what we did is we sold right on off here, okay? And then we had this momentum to the downside, okay? We had the RSI coming on the way down. And then we were looking for the bottom of this candle right here, actually, which was 3266 level, okay? So we came down, but then we put a bottoming tail in here. And then yesterday, we put in a higher high, higher low, but you notice where it went? Right into that 21-day simple moving average. Okay, see, this is why I want to trade the charts, because that's going to be the resistant levels. Now, Now we're stuck right here between this 8-day on the downside, 33.39, and then we're looking at here at 33.33. There's your 50-day. Okay, that's your downside. Now, if we lose that, then what we'll do is we'll come to the top of this candle. Okay, 33.21. We'll look at the bottom of here at 33.13 level here. Then we'll be looking to the retest there of that 32.66 and then possibly 32.50. We lose that, you're going to come right down to the 100-day. That was going to be your target. And we'd have to see what the reaction is once we get there. Now, we're still looking very good. We have this inside day, which means your high and your low are the inside the previous day, high and low. And what we're looking for is right here is this 21-day at 33.66 level. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So if we can get above that, then we have these nice targets up here. See this, 33.85, okay? Then we just follow it up here, 34.05, we have 34.13, we have 34.22, 34.27, and we can just march yourself all the way up here to that 34.76 level, okay? So, but it has to get above that 21-day. Yesterday, you can see where it stopped it dead in its tracks. Today, so far, same thing. So now we got a little ping pong action here. The 8-day on the downside, okay, and that 21-day on the upside. So we got to see which way this is going to go today. Okay, so I'll have no opinion. Now, if we can get above and close above that 21-day, then I would jump into GLD here, because even though we have these resistant levels here coming all the way through, your big target's going to be that 34.76. That's what we'd be aiming for. You get above that, then we'd be looking for that 35.09. You crack that, you're going to go 35.50. 3600 is going to be your ultimate target. Okay, right now you're only sitting at 51, plenty of room. Okay, your green is below your red, but now you can see how it's leveling off here. Okay, so right now here we had that bottoming tail, and we got 3 days here of green. Let's see if we can hold it. Okay, let's take a look here at silver. Now, silver here is actually doing a little bit better because we're holding up that 21-day very, very nicely. Even though we came down, you see we're closing above, down, closing above. Now we're the price is above the 8-day, which is nice, 36.28, and we're above that 36.21 level. Now, if that is lost here, then obviously we come to today's low. You're looking at that 36.05. We'll come down to the bottom there. You're looking at 35.95. We'll come down here. You're looking at 35.58. And then we have to the bottom of that candle at 35.19. We'll always look to the top of that one because that's going to be your breakout, 34.94. And then we come down to that 50-day. Those are going to be your downside target. But right now we're holding this 21-day and we'll have a really, really nice bottom left, upper right situation. Okay, now today's high, we got as high as 36.59 level. What we're looking for is the top of this candle here at 36.87, but ultimately right here is this 36.97. That's what we're looking for is a resistant level. We get above that, we're going to come up here 37.10, and then we're going to aim for that 37.40. Okay, then we have to see what the reaction is once you get there. Okay, does it blast through? Does it double top? What the situation is? I'll close above this. Then you got 38, and then you're going to head to that 40 level, okay? But let's just see how this all shakes out. Now, remember, next week is going to be real, real critical because next week is July 9th. That's when all the tariffs are supposed to be taking place unless they can negotiate a deal ahead of time. So, again, a lot of times I always look at these commodities like gold and silver almost like a fear factor kind of situation. So it's like the unknown of something is that, then the gold and silver will kind of rally. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil and natural gas. Okay, here we have crude oil and natty gas. Okay, let's take a look here at the old crude scheme. Okay, now you can see here where the 8-day came down, crossed that 200-day, crossed the 21-day, and now we're headed right for the 100 SMA here. Okay, now we still have this bear flag is still in play. Okay, now it's stretching out. Usually these go like we had on the silver there on the bull flag. It's got like a couple, 3-4 days, and then she rallies up here. But this is really, really stretching out. Now again, we're above this 100-day, 65.63. Okay, and we're above that 8-day at 65.54 level. Okay, so the 8-day crossed all these simple moving averages now. So this is going to be your big support level. We lose that, then we'll come down to yesterday's low, 64.67, 64 flat, and then you're looking for that 63.68. Then we have to see what the reaction is once you get there. Now, if we lose that, then we come right here, just follow it down, 62.82, 62.50, 62.17 level. We'll come down here at 61.06, and then we'll come down here at 59.74 level, okay? Now, on the upside here, we're looking right here at next level is going to be that 67.20. That's your 21-day. And then we'll come up to the top of this candle here. You're looking at 67.83 and then 68.47. There's your 200 SMA here. Then what we do is we start looking to the top of that candle at that 69.29 level, okay? But we have to get above the 21-day and the 200-day. Now, remember, the EIA report will be out here at 10:30 today, and that could be a market mover. Plus, we have the holiday driving here season coming up here on Friday. That's all your 4th of July area. So we have to see. So usually right now, this here is a long, but again, then it starts pulling back here after the 4th of July. We've got to see how that all shakes out. Right now, the bear flag is still in play until we get back above the top of this candle, 67.83. Then that would negate that bear flag pattern. And obviously, we shoot for the 200-day. We will shoot to the top of this candle, and then we would go higher. Now, remember, OPEC meeting is also going to be this week, over the weekend, and we got to see if they're going to be adding oil to the market here, or what they're going to actually doing. Okay, now there's a little bit. Saudi Arabia is not happy with the rest of the OPEC members because they're not sticking to their compliances. They're adding more oil than what they should be. So I think they want to try to set precedents where Saudi Arabia will take market share over the price. Okay, so let's just see how this all shakes out. Now, again, your big downside target is we need to hold that 8-day, and we need to hold that 20 and that 100-day. If we lose it, we come down to these candles, but really your target is going to be that 63.68, and then we have to see what happens once we get there. Okay, upside here, we're going to be shooting for that 21-day, and then possibly the top of this candle here, which would negate that bear flag, and then we come up to that 200-day at 68.47, and we have to see what the reaction is once you get there. Okay, now let's look at natural gas. Okay, natural gas here, well, let's just say we had this bottoming tail yesterday. Today, so far, we have what they call an inside day, but you notice that we are holding that 200-day at 3.39, okay? So even though this chart, it doesn't really look like there's nothing to write home about here, you still have an uptrending chart, okay? A low, higher low, higher low, higher low situation. So we still have an uptrending chart. Now, what we're watching on the downside is that 200-day, 3.94, and then we come right down to yesterday's low at that 329 level. Then what we do is just bring these price channels right across here. Then we're looking right there at that 321. We'll come down here. You're looking at 309, and then we have this gap. Okay, 305, the fill 298, and then we look to the bottom at 286. That's your downside, but that's only if you lose that 200-day on a closing basis. Okay, now upside, you can see how that 8-day rolled right on over here. Looks like it wants a crush on that 50-day, but right there, 305, 350, that is going to be your resistance level. Okay, right above that, we have that 8-day sitting at 352. Then we have 363, and then we have your 100-day sitting there at 368. So everything is sitting right here. Okay, so you have to get all this resistance. The only thing that you're above here is that 200-day. So you can trade this range, the 200-day to the 50-day to the 8-day on the upside. Okay, you crack above that, and we can hit to that 21-day, and we look for that 100-day. On downside, that 200-day is everything. If not, we look to yesterday's low. Okay, so right now the risk to reward isn't really that good. Okay, because we're just kind of like sitting here. We don't have that nice rally up here, or we don't have that topping tail where we're going to come all the way down and hold that 200-day. So we got to see how this all going to shake out. So just be very, very patient with the old natty gas. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old NQ. Okay, here we have the old NQ. This is the Nasdaq futures, and all these charts here look pretty much the same. You're looking at I like looking at the Nasdaq future, but you're looking at the S&P future, the Dow futures. They're all pretty much the same old thing. Okay, so you just have this big melt up situation. See where the green turns blue? That's an overbought situation. But again, it can stay overbought for a while. Don't get me wrong here, but this is a huge situation. Now, next week is going to be the Cal, because we're going to see what the reaction is to be all the tariffs. A lot of people, I would say the big boys, are probably selling into this market. I know I'm selling as this market moves up. I'm selling right into it. I can always buy back. I just don't want to buy back at these highs. This is where I buy it. Okay, this is where I trade it as it's doing the old melt up. Okay, now so far we're holding this 8-day. This is 22,577. That's very, very key. If not, you're going to go to 22,121. That is your 21 SMA here. These two have to hold, okay? If not, we can follow the candles down, but realistically, your target's going to be right there at that 21,194 and then 27.97, and then we can even come down to the 100 SMA down here at 26.24. 24 level. But right now here, we still have it at uptrending, so you got to really respect it, even though it is a melt-up kind of a situation, okay? But again, on the upside here, you have to get back above that 22,934 level. That's going to be the key. That's just your price channel. Once you get above that, then you can actually go higher. But, this is just very, very top-heavy. This is not something where you say, hey, I'm going balls out long on this situation. This is where you do that. So I'm looking for a pullback here. In the meantime, I'm just trading the market. Okay. I'll be back here midday trading, and we'll take a look at some stocks. And remember, just you only got today and tomorrow left here, so don't get too excited here. Just remember, trade and put the money in your pocket. This is a trading market. This is not a buy and hold kind of a situation. All right, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.